16th of April, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos, Pesach. Okay,
Right. So,
so what I think you just said is that um, the fact that the Jewish people believed in Hashem and were willing to risk their lives by going into the sea was a tshuva for their idol worshiping,
right.
and therefore they're not considered to be idol worshippers anymore.
That's right. Correct.
Okay. V'roi lomar shira al ha nis gadal shemo shel hakadosh baruch hu. Uh, and so it's appropriate for them to sing uh, concerning the greatness of the name of Hashem. V'chein bihu biyahush pat.
Be Beoshaphat. That was a king. It was a king of Yehuda, I believe.
And so it was with Yehoshaphat, Dichsiv, that it's written in
I think that's Divrei Hayomim. Um, exactly where that would be. Sham Perik, maybe Perik Samech Lamed Gimel. I'd have to really look it up.
that's the last book of the Tanakh.
I'm not sure if that's considered the last book. I don't know. But Divrei Hayomim is also known as yeah. It's as many times I think is listed last.
Right. Okay. At any rate, it's a book at the end of Tanakh. Okay.
Right.
V'od ha'am lo hachinu levam b'kule. And furthermore, the sea did not.
No, the people.
Oh, the people were not. What is hachinu?
The lo hachinu libam. Libam is their hearts. Lo hachinoi. Uh, let me
Probably
see.
prepared in their hearts or something,
Could be. I think
or
so.
desire maybe.
Yeah, I want to see the context of the pasuk. Uh, hachinu libam. Uh, uh, interesting.
Yeah, I think I have that here.
Oh, Divrei Yomim. It's in Divrei Yomim. Right, Divrei Yomim, Perek. I guess it's the second volume, Perek Chav Pasuk Chav Gimel. Yeah, Divrei Hayomim. So what is that speaking about? So you have your Tanakh there. Let me look here. Ah, Divrei Hayomim. Hey, Chav, Chav, Chav.
Ibrahim two, second one. What
Right.
verse was it again, please?
It was chapter 20, verse number 33.
And Jehoshaphat reigned over Yehuda. He was 35 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned for 25 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Azuvah, the daughter of Shilchi. And he walked in the way of Ashia his father, and did not depart from it, doing that which is right in the sight of the Lord.
Mm.
So let's see. What is our word? Our word is Vayelech b'derech aviv asa lo sar mi mena vaso hayah.
Right. He went in the way of his father. Asa was a tzaddik, if I'm not mistaken.
Right?
Um, and he did not turn from the way of what was righteous in the eyes of Hashem. However, Bamos lo sorrow, the Bamos, the altars, he did not destroy. Furthermore, Ha'am lo hechinu levavam avoseim. The people did not truly devote their hearts to Kadosh Baruch Hu, the God of their fathers. Meaning, it wasn't complete. It was somewhat lacking.
Mm.
Right. They didn't direct their hearts to Hashem. So let's see, what is this? What is the context? Yeah.
So he's bringing this as a proof that, and then the chach lo samach, meaning even though Klal Yisrael now allowed through their Mesiras Nefesh with Emunah and trust and faith and Betachin in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as Yehuda initiated them growing faithfully into the Yam, trusting Hashem, so that in fact corrected the waywardness of them worshipping idols when they were in Egypt. Nevertheless, even though that now it made it a mishpat tzedek, it now allowed that the Egyptians could be drowned. Nevertheless, like we see by Yehoshaphat, even though he himself did very good things, but still there was still a lacking. It wasn't a full absolute correction of the situation. Likewise, at the Yam Suf, there wasn't a full correction of the situation. Therefore, there was no true simcha. L'kach lo samach. Therefore, there was not a real, full joy.
So in other words, even though we did tshuva at the sea, in later years we backslid.
Well, I'm not sure. He's bringing the case of Yehoshaphat as I'm not sure as a proof or just as an example that there was something that was done that was good, but yet it was still not completely perfect. So also I have to say the way he's learning it was something which was good, but it was not in fact completely perfect.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I still have my question then.
Okay, well, yeah, he's promoting the question now, right? But in a certain way, it's an answer, meaning the fact that the Egyptians could be destroyed, they were destroyed because Klal Yisrael now could pass righteously through the Yam Suf because of their tshuva that they did, right? And the Egyptians could now be destroyed, but yet there's still, since it wasn't a true perfection involved here, there was not a true reason to be joyous, meaning on the behalf of Kadosh Baruch.
Right.
Mm.
Ba'achav, and similarly with Achav, Asher bishvilo neged Yisrael kedichsiv in Malachim Raisi es ha'am nifutzim. And similarly with Achav, that on his own account, corresponding to the Jewish people as it is written. What's Nifotsim?
So somewhat, somewhat, there's still somewhat of a lack of perfection. The food scene. Let me take a look. That's also where in Sham Malachim, that's in Malachim, Nafutz is usually, I think, a bit like somewhat like wayward. But let me just check. Let me look up the pasuk. Nafutsim. Nafutsim. Yeah. That's let me see. Let me see. Interesting. I don't know why it's Malachim, Risi, Nafutsim. That's also that's also in Divrei Yomim. That's in Divrei Yomim Yud Ches pasuk Tezayin.
Hmm.
That's not in Malachim. That's in Divrei Yomim. Divrei Yomim base. Divrei Yomim base. Yud Ches, chapter
Maybe the
18.
people were scattered about, maybe.
Yeah, the Foots in 18. And it says 16, pasuk 16. Scattering, yeah, scattering. I guess scattering that they were not unified. Yeah, the food scene, they were scattered, not unified.
So in the time of Achab, the people were not unified.
Right.
Makes them culpable.
Yeah, it still shows a lack of the held in the eyes of God's work, which still showed a lack.
But this is just another example.
Right, that's right.
Mhm.
Ki bahade hotze leki karva. The
Ki hadi hotzi leki kirava. That's based on the Gemara in Baba Kama. He brings another example, but let's just jump to because we came to the end of our time. Just go to the last thing. Not ne'enshu shalo b'mishpat. Therefore, was somewhat of a punishment which was not according to the mishpat.
punishment of the Egyptians we're talking about was not according to the Mishpat.
Yeah, meaning there. Well, I think that's a reference to the Gemara. He's bringing another example from the Gemara, and then there was a punishment which was not according to the true judgment. L'chein lake is simply befana. Therefore, there was no joy to a Kadosh Baruch Hu in this. I mean, there was a mishpat had to take place, but there was still a lack of perfection in the mishpat.
Okay. So I'm still not clear why the Jewish people were allowed to sing, since they're the cause of the trouble here.
So that will be the discussion in the next paragraph in the Torah Tamima.
Okay.
That's the if you see there the second line Kitzas Tzurachi, and there's somewhat of a question that needs to be resolved here. Eich Yomru Az Moshe Yisrael Shira. How were they able to say Moshe and the Jews the Shira?
Oh, good. That's the question.
That's right. That's right. Okay, good. We'll get to that tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem.
All right. Thank you, Rabbi.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Mayor. We'll continue tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, and we'll see how we can resolve this.
You
Okay,
too.
very good.
Okay, have a good moed.
Thank
Good
you too.
morning.
Be well. Shkoyach, both of you. Be well.